From Volunteer TV, you're watching Local 8 News election coverage of Campaign 2014.
Good evening and welcome to Local 8 News at 11 special Campaign 2014 coverage. I'm Ted Hall.
And I'm Amanda Hara. Thanks for having us in your home tonight. For some candidates, it's the end of a very long road, and for others, it's just the beginning.
Most of the well-known incumbents already winners tonight. Governor Haslam in an easy one, Congressman Duncan. Senator Alexander's in a close race. He leads. An exception, controversial state rep Stacey Campfield was defeated. Another close race for U.S. House. Chuck Fleischman and Weston Wamp. We're keeping an eye on that one for you.
That's right. We have crews live across the state watching these big races. Alan Williams and Laura Davis are live at Republican headquarters at the Crown Plaza in downtown Knoxville.
Yeah, we've got the Democrats covered as well. Local 8 News reporter Kyle Warnke standing by at their headquarters. Plus, we have Local 8 News reporter Stephen Powell. He's in Anderson County where they had a couple of very interesting races. We're going to get to them in just a moment.
Yeah, but first, a very dramatic night for Dr. Richard Briggs. He helped a man who collapsed at Republican headquarters. Then moments later, he learned he beat out Stacey Campfield, who was probably the most controversial candidate of the entire season. Briggs stole the nomination away from both Campfield and Mike Alford, but the battle to represent Knoxville isn't over just yet. Briggs will now face Democrat Sherry Seiler.
Now, why is Campfield called controversial so often? Well, the state rep kind of popped on the national scene when he said in an interview that people contracted the AIDS virus after a man had sex with a monkey and then with each other, and then there was a pilot involved. His hometown high school in New York had a special meeting. They tried to decide whether they should take him out of their Hall of Fame. They did not, by the way.
Yeah, Campfield also found himself in the hot seat for posting a picture of a pressure cooker after the Boston Marathon bombings. He joked that it should be classified as a weapon. Another snafu came earlier this year with another blog post. He likened Democrats bragging about the Affordable Care Act to Germans bragging about train rides for Jewish people during the Holocaust. And most recently, a theatrical group in Nashville used all of these events to create a satirical musical that Campfield said he would participate in had he been asked.
That's not the only race we're following tonight. We've had a lot of interesting ones. Let's give you a look at some of the winners. Incumbent U.S. Congressman Phil Rowe moving on to the general election in November. He beat out Hartley. He beat out John Paul Rader. Rowe's going to face Libertarian Michael Salyer and independent candidate Robert Franklin. Jimmy Duncan, the congressman, takes his primary against Jason Zachary. Next for him, he'll face Bob Scott in November. And Green Party's Norris Dreyer and independent Casey Googe as well.
Yeah, the race between incumbent Chuck Fleischman and contender Weston Wamp, close, still too close to call. The winner of that race will go against Democrat Mary Hedrick and independent Cassandra Mitchell.
For U.S. House District 6, Diane Black back on the road to the U.S. Capitol building as she beats out Jerry Lowry. Next for her, Democrat Amos Scott Powers and independent Mike Winton.
Yeah, another election that is too close to call, the Democratic nominee for U.S. Senate. It is a tight one between two Knoxville guys, Gordon Ball and lawyer Terry Adams.
A lot of the candidates, including a very busy tonight, Dr. Richard Briggs, spent the evening at the Republican Party headquarters.
Yeah, there was no shortage of drama. Briggs was called in to help a man who collapsed in the middle of the crowd. Let's go live to Crown Plaza for reaction tonight.
Alan and Lauren live in downtown Knoxville. Guys, what was the mood like down there? They've had a lot of victories coming out of that building.
Big mood tonight down here at the Crown Plaza. A lot of smiles on their faces. The Republicans really had a big night, Ted and Amanda here, and a lot of smiles from a lot of victories. Jimmy Duncan advances to November as well.
Yeah, a lot of excitement here as well, not just in the election itself, but we saw somebody actually collapse here in the Great Room Hall on the ground. You know, we were listening to a lot of the candidates introduce themselves, and then all of a sudden we hear people yelling for 911 paramedics. So we all rush over to a table, and there's a gentleman who has fallen ill on the floor. We learned later that his blood pressure medication had an ill effect on him.
And I watched Dr. Briggs as he made his way across the room. He rolled up his sleeves, and actually he changed his whole focus. You know, it was about, of course, tonight and winning, but he changed his focus, and tonight really more it was about becoming a doctor. And I talked to him a little bit later about that, and I said, what was going through your mind? He goes, I'm just doing my job. You know, and he lost focus about the election and more about just helping someone. And he's making his way over here right now, and hopefully he's going to talk to us and give us a little insight about
here he is now.
Exactly what
Dr.
happened.
Briggs, come on in. Thank you so much for joining us. I know you're a busy man tonight. You've been very busy. Talk first about when you had to jump into action to help that person who fell ill.
Well, we were upstairs in a room, and we got a call upstairs that a gentleman had collapsed, and we're going to take care of him first. That's the most important thing. We came down. It turned out I think he just took his blood pressure medicine. It's been a hot day, and he was doing better. The ambulance did come, but I understand that he's going to do just fine. And if there's any good news tonight, it may be that. You
were down on your knees on the floor there helping him. You lost track of really why you were here in the first place, I would imagine. You just went to work.
Well, we do. I mean, it's this is what you do when you're a doctor. When people call and say someone's down, you go and take care of them.
All right, let's talk about the race itself. You said that you helping the man was the only good news, but good news is that you won tonight. How are you feeling right now?
I'm absolutely extremely proud of the team that we put together to do it. It was with hard work that we won. But also, I'm very appreciative to the voters of Knox County. This was a hard race. It makes you feel very humble when you have this many people will vote for you and put their faith in you.
Now, it's not over. You still go to November now against Sherry Seiler.
Yes, I think this will be a very different race. It'll have a very different tone than this one did. I'm looking forward to it. We're going to take it very seriously. We've obviously put in a lot of groundwork, which gives us an advantage.
But tonight, you were a hero in many ways. When they introduced you, you got a standing ovation.
Yeah. Well, maybe that was for helping the gentleman.
Nonetheless.
Either way, thank you so much, and congratulations again.
Well, that wraps it up here at the Republican headquarters here at the Crown Plaza. Been an interesting night, especially for the Republicans. A lot of smiles.
Yeah, we'll be back here in November, definitely. But for now, we're going to sign off live in Knoxville. Lauren Davis and Alan Williams, back to you in the studio.
All right, Lauren, Alan, thanks a lot. Stacey Campfield was not there. Take a look at what he posted on his blog tonight. All it says was, that was fun. And then there's a link to Frank Sinatra's My Way.
Well, several Knox County Democrats now know who they're up against this November. Sherry Seiler will, of course, run against Richard Griggs for that Tennessee Senate seat. And incumbent Gloria Johnson is up against Eddie Smith as she tries to keep her state house seat. All right, we're ready to go back live to downtown Knoxville, where Kyle Warnke is at the Democratic headquarters to tell us what happened there this evening.
And I'll tell you what, things have certainly quieted down quite a bit here at the Marriott Hotel in downtown Knoxville. Just about an hour ago, this place was pretty much packed. Now look behind me. The only people left are the people that are cleaning up for the after party. I want to show you the video of what it did look like here just about an hour ago as the Democratic Party was here, just kind of waiting as numbers were rolling in. We talked with Sherry Seiler and Gloria Johnson this evening. Now, Seiler, you'll know, running for state Senate seat, Johnson for the state House seat. Now, both women, they're both educators who are insistent upon the betterment of the education systems, and both women say they are ready now to get to work and hit the ground running.
I was really tired of the current representation. I talked to a lot of people who were also tired of it, and I felt like it was time to stop talking about it and start doing something.
Now we're also keeping an eye on the U.S. Senate seat race. That's between Terry Adams and Gordon Ball at this point. Now the two of them, they're really just going back and forth at this time. I just spoke with Terry Adams probably about 20 minutes ago now. He said that he was down by just a few hundred points. A few minutes before that, he was up by a few hundred points. So the two of them just keep going back and forth. At this point, we're calling it still too close to call between the two of them. Of course, we will keep you updated on how that race develops and how those numbers turn out, so just keep it here for the updates on that. But for now, reporting live in downtown Knoxville, Kyle Warnke, VLT, Local 8 News.
If Kyle's not careful, he might get locked inside there or swept out the door.
You're shutting down the house as he does the live shot. Several other big races in Knox County tonight as well.
We'll show you some of these winners here. Ed Schaus takes the Knox County trustee position, beating Jim Barrier. Foster Arnett beats Mike Padgett pretty handily for county clerk. For Register of Deeds, Sherry Witt with a win over Donald Weiser.
We're going to get back to those election results tonight, but first, major international news. U.S. warplanes could be headed to Iraq. President Obama has authorized targeted airstrikes against Islamic extremists if he deems it necessary.
These extremists are trying to take over portions of Iraq. They're threatening to kill thousands of trapped religious minorities if they don't convert to Islam. The president says the U.S. cannot turn a blind eye against potential genocide.
And when many thousands of innocent civilians are faced with the danger of being wiped out, and we have the capacity to do something about it, we will take action.
The president did make it clear that the U.S. will not send combat troops on the ground to Iraq. All right, back to some of the election results. Pretty quick night for the governor. Bill Haslam, it was over pretty quick for him.
Yeah, less than an hour, really, after the polls closed, we declared him the winner. And he won the Republican primary by a hefty margin over his challengers, Mark Coon Rippy Brown, yes, that is a real name, Basil Marceau Sr., and Donald Ray McFarlane. Charles Brown won the Democratic nomination against Kennedy Johnson, John McCamey, and Ron Noonan. So in November, it's Haslam, Brown, and 5 other third-party candidates.
For the U.S. Senate, Lamar Alexander, we are now declaring, he was declared the winner pretty early. Joe Carr put on a bit of a charge. That's one that still has to had an eye kept on it. Several challenges you see involved there, Agnew, Carr, and Flynn. Also, some others involved in this race. John King, Brenda S. Leonard, Aaron Kent McGee were involved in that one. From the Democratic side, still too close to call between Terry Adams and Gordon Ball. Are you used to seeing these politicians like this, kind of straight-laced? For the most part, the people who get the votes look like the other people in their profession who get the votes, buttoned-up model politicians.
Yeah, with the tie and the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
But maybe, though, it's time for you to meet a few of the more colorful candidates, the offbeat folks who were running for office. Let's start with Christian Agnew. He took on Lamar Alexander in tonight's U.S. Senate primary. This self-proclaimed regular guy from a small town managed to get national attention with his campaign, or more specifically, his logo, which shows off what can only be described as one luxurious beard. It is so amazing, a Business Insider called it the greatest candidate logo in the entire country. Yeah, some of the most unique hopefuls are also familiar faces.
Yeah, you've seen Basil Marceau before. He busted on the national scene back in 2010 when he referred to himself with a unique name.
Hello, citizens of Tennessee and the United States. This is BasilMarceau.com.
Yeah, he said that's BasilMarceau.com. He hit the comedy circuits like wildfire back in 2010, but for Marceau.com, another unsuccessful run for governor this time around. So if you want to run for Tennessee state office, it's probably best that you know a few state facts. That'd help, wouldn't it?
Yeah, like Ted, what's our official state animal?
Raccoon.
Oh, how did you know that?
Says it right there.
You know it.
I've lived here a long time, too.
This candidate knows it as well.
Becca.
What?
All right, that is Mark Coon Rippy Brown. Yes, Coon Rippy is a legit middle name. I met the guy back when I was working in Nashville. He was sitting in the office of a local newspaper, and that raccoon was sleeping in his beard. I said, I have to do a story on you. He said, no, because TWRA will come take my raccoon. What happened 2 years later? TWRA took the raccoon. So he appealed to the governor to get the raccoon back. The appeal didn't work. His backup plan for retribution, run against Haslam and win the governor's office. It turns out that didn't work either.
Look at us, still leaning on each other.
If running for governor was a karaoke contest, this guy might have a shot, right? Ron Noonan. He may have taken the Democratic primary. No, unsuccessful run, but still nothing wrong with a little Vince Gill now and then. So if you folks aren't voting for a guy who can sing Vince Gill, you're not voting for a guy who wants to keep his raccoon. What was on your mind, people? What's in your heart?
Yeah, the Republican primary was full of big winners, including, of course, Governor Bill Haslam and Senator Lamar Alexander. But the battle is not over just yet.
Both candidates have a long way to go until official re-election in November. Senator Alexander planning on a win, and a pretty big one, and he got it, it seems. The senator spoke to his supporters. He congratulated the record 6 other people who were also running for the Republican nomination. Alexander invited them to join him as they go to the general election in November. He touted his conservative record and how he's a get-it-done conservative.
You know, this is one of the largest Republican primaries that we've had in our state's history. There are 7 candidates in this primary. They all ran very well, and we're glad that it's over.
He says he's hoping tonight's victory and win in November, along with his fellow Republicans, will send a message to President Obama. All right, that is not all of our campaign coverage for you tonight.
Yeah, after the break, a live report with a look at who the Republican primary winners will face off against in November.
And we are looking at some showers moving through the region. These showers will be here overnight and linger throughout the weekend. I'll have full details after the break.
Craving a little Italian? Imagine a new Fiat 500 Pop for only $14,495. That's the sale price at Harper Fiat. A new Fiat 500 Pop hatchback with air, FM, AM, CD, and MP3. Plus 6 speakers, Bluetooth, USB, and lots more. Like keyless entry, electronic stability control, leather tilt steering with audio controls. It's all yours for only $14,495 at Harper Fiat on Parkside. Don't wait. Hurry in today and get a brand new Fiat 500 Pop hatchback for only $14,495. The new Fiat 500 Pop for only $14,495 at Harper Fiat. Parkside Drive at Pellissippi.
Slow down and enjoy a refreshing twist on a Southern favorite. New Strawberry and Peach Mickey D Sweet Tea. Get a large for only $1.19.
Millions of people have experienced that yes feeling at Conn's, and now you can too. Conn's is open in Knoxville. Come say yes to a huge selection of furniture, TVs, appliances, and more. Yes to next day delivery. And now get 0% interest for 24 months on select purchases. Just go to Cons.com to apply and get approved for your yes money. Then get to the new Conn's Home Plus in Knoxville. Oh yes.
It's bow time at Bojangles. Head to Bojangles and get 2 made-from-scratch sausage and egg biscuits for just $3.33. Bojangles, it's bow time.
The Summer Spectacular Sales Event is going on now at Ray Varner Ford. New 2014 Ford Edge 28.9. Come to exit 122 in Clinton or shop us online at rayvarnerford.com.
Election updates delivered to you by Pizza Hut. Make it great. Catch the Local 8 Sports Tennessee Fall Preview Friday night at 8 on WVLT.
Couple of points for you. Fleischman over Wamp is some of the latest information that we're getting in now for U.S. Congress. Interesting story, I thought, was the race for sheriff in Claiborne County. The sheriff lost his house in that tornado. And as we were watching the results through the night, it was very close. The thought was maybe the sheriff would lose his house and then lose his seat. He hung on and did hang on to win that one.
And really close between Fleischman and Wamp, too.
Yeah, that was close all night.
A young guy. Wamp is a young guy.
Yeah.
Very young. All right, well, welcome back. Our campaign coverage for you continues in Anderson County, where history has been made.
Terry Frank is the first female to be elected to a full term as county mayor in Anderson County. She beat Jim Hackworth and Bradley Ricketts. And for sheriff, Paul White keeps his position. He beats Anthony Lay. We're going to go back live to Anderson County right now.
Yeah, Local 8 News reporter Stephen Powell is there with a look at how the night played out. Stephen?
We've got 100% of the votes reporting here in Anderson County, and that means things have quieted down here at the courthouse, this hall behind me. It was buzzing just about an hour ago with people running through here. Very busy day here in this election, and talking with candidates and voters, they both say this has been one long election cycle. Neither can remember a time when they've had this many qualified candidates in this many races, and the voter turnout certainly showed that. There were almost 15,000 total votes, which is about 30% of the registered voters. So a 30% turnout today in Anderson County. Now the big story, the incumbents hold. For the most part, every incumbent kept their office. That was certainly the case in 2 of the biggest races. In the county mayor race, incumbent Terry Frank had 52% of the vote. Pretty solid victory over Jim Hackworth, who only had 43%. And in the sheriff's race, incumbent Sheriff Paul White had 51%. Very slim margin, though, over his challenger, Anthony Lay, who only had 48%, but still about a 3% margin of victory there. Now, I talked with White about his plans for his 3rd term as sheriff here in Anderson County.
3rd term I would do, basically we'll work on drugs and burglaries like we have. Our main thing right now is to open up our new jail facility, in which we are almost completed with. We have a workhouse program that we're going to open up, so it'll be a handful up front to start out with, but we'll get it going.
Now, another interesting thing to note, Paul White, he is the first, I should say, first three-term sheriff they've had since 1978. That was the year when they went to 4-year terms. And he said that he was pretty confident all along that he was going to win, but he was pretty shocked at just how close this race was here for sheriff. Now, of course, there were a lot more races here in Anderson County, and we'll have a full list on our website, local8now.com. But for now, reporting here in Anderson County, I'm Stephen Powell, VLT, Local 8 News.
Yeah, maybe you had your eye on a different race outside of Anderson County. We'll have all that information, those results, at local8now.com as well.
Always tracking, always alerting. Local 8 weather.
And Mother Nature has been timing out this rain not to affect the election turnout today. You can see the rain showers are moving through the region. We're going to see that rain shower activity continue through the weekend. In fact, some very impressive estimated rainfall amounts in our future rainfall totals. Let's put this in motion for you. Stop this in about 24 hours from now. And you can see at 10 o'clock on Friday that there is going to be a fairly decent amount of rain that would have fallen by this time tomorrow. And then we continue this on through till Saturday, and we add on to that about another inch or so. Now, these are usually overdone here in our future rainfalls, but it does give you a pretty good idea that pretty much everybody is going to get a lot of rain moving through in the next 48 to 72 hours. So clouds are moving in, showers are developing and creeping in to the plateau as we speak. We have the opportunity for locally heavy rain and some spotty storms on your Friday. Localized flooding is also possible through the weekend as we continue to add more rain to the mix, and that rain and stormy conditions should continue through the beginning portion of the work week. We're looking at 76 degrees right now, no wind to speak of. We have 75 in Oak Ridge, 71 in Middlesboro, 72 in Somerset. So here's a look at the moisture. Pretty big batch coming on through middle portions of Tennessee. Let's zoom in a little bit closer and show you what's happening right around the region. You see it just coming in. Cookeville getting a little wet right now. A lot of this stuff just approaching the Fentress and Cumberland County areas. We will put this into the future, and it handles it pretty well at 1 o'clock. You can see that batch of moisture moving on through. And then for your morning commute, 8 o'clock in the morning, we are looking at some widespread showers and a few thunderstorms. And then as we get into your noon hour, well, we're going to be looking at some spotty showers. So kind of an off and on rain shower event tomorrow, 5 o'clock. See these spotty showers coming on through. And the good news is that these are going to be good old-fashioned rain showers and thunderstorms, but nothing severe is anticipated. But lightning is still pretty dangerous. 11 o'clock tomorrow, not much going on. And then as we get into your Saturday, it's another wet day on Saturday. So here is the forecast for you. We are looking at an overnight low tonight of 66 degrees with some patchy fog and some spotty showers on the plateau. We're looking at temperatures in the low 80s with off and on showers tomorrow, about an 80% chance of that happening. So it's going to be raining pretty much everywhere. Southeastern Kentucky, temps will be in the low 80s. Smokies, 77 Gatlinburg, 85 Maryville, 70% chance of off and on showers, 86 in Athens and 87 in Oak Ridge tomorrow. We have likely storms on Friday, Saturday, scattered showers on Sunday, and it's still going to be raining Monday. More widespread showers on Tuesday, tapering off Wednesday and Thursday.
All right, so what John is saying is get your galoshes and keep them around for the next month.
Yep. You're going to ruin everything you've got with all that rain out there. That's it. Jeff Archer's coming back with sports in just a second.
Do you like barbecue ribs, sweet corn, crafts, and bluegrass? Then grab the family and head to Ribfest for Homes. Saturday, August 16th at the Church of the Resurrection. Go to the community page at local8now.com and help us build another Habitat home.
Your Local 8 weather can be heard every day with our Knoxville radio partners.
This summer,
I am in control now.
We have to eliminate his power source. Go get him.
How is this possible?
now during the Summer Spectacular, get 0% financing for 72 months on Escape, Edge, or Explorer. That's 0 for 72, only at your local Ford dealer.
Imagine coconut sandwiches. Or maybe vanilla cream puff pudding pops.
No, I'm partial to mint chocolate chip ice cream bars, but you need butterscotch.
Your strawberry fruit bars are fabulous. Kiwi would be even better.
Everyone loves our Fudge, Moo, and Crunch bars. Which one's your favorite?
I love Sunday cups so much, I eat them on Monday, and Tuesday, and Wednesday.
Beatty Chevrolet is overstocked with low-mileage, late-model pre-owned vehicles. Choose from over 250 pre-owned vehicles with payments starting as low as $99 and prices starting at $49.95. Find cars, trucks, and SUVs like Ford, Toyota, Nissan, Chevy, GMC, Honda, Buick, Mercedes-Benz, BMW, and more. Plus, get $1,000 additional trade assistance. Beatty has what you're looking for and more with payments as low as $99 and prices starting at $49.95. Hurry to Beatty Chevrolet in Knoxville today.
I always wear my helmet. We always wear a helmet. Mine's a mohawk. Mine's a dinosaur.
Wearing a helmet when you ride your bike or scooter is a no-brainer. Besides, it's the law for kids 16 years and younger. The helmet must fit right. Use the 2-finger rule. 2 fingers above the brow line and no more than 2 fingers in the chin strap. And remember, always stop and look both ways when entering a street or intersection. This message is brought to you by Kohl's Cares and East Tennessee Children's Hospital.
Nice laptop.
Tablet too.
Whoa, where'd you get that?
Office Max. A chandelier? A rug? Where'd you get that? Office Depot. Office Max.
Great backpack. Where'd you get that?
Office Depot.
Now there are 2 great places to get the must-have school supplies that'll make them smile. Get over 1,000 items, $5 or less. Send them back happy with Office Depot and Office Max.
VLT Local 8 Sports is brought to you by Dale's Seasoning.
Do you base it on your chicken? Do you marinate your steaks? Brush it on your burgers when you grill it, makes them great. Veggies and steaks, they cook up so well. How do you do your Dale's?
30 Days, 30 Vols is brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. From your home of the Vol Network, Volunteer TV, and My VLT Sports, it's your 30 Days, 30 Vols.
Hi, my name is LaDarryl McNeil. I want to thank you for all the support. It's only 24 days left until it's football time in Tennessee.
LaDarryl McNeil returns with a wealth of experience in the defensive backfield for the Vols. The junior has started 19 games, including 12 last season. McNeil registered his first career interception in a win over South Alabama last season. McNeil is a key part of an improving Vols defensive backfield.
We're just getting so close to that time of year. Well, after taking yesterday off, the Vols were back on the practice field this evening, working more on game-type situations. This was practice number 6 for Tennessee. Nearly a week into practice, Butch Jones says that they are starting to see people separate themselves from others at their position, both negatively and positively. One thing Coach Jones is especially pleased with is the leadership he sees some players showing. And he's happy also with the new options they have in the return game.
I'm really excited because I think we've added to the returner list. Last year, all we had was Devin Young. And you want to put a person back there who's a threat to go the distance every time they touch the football. So we've put a lot of people back there to see what they can do in the return game. And as camp continues to progress, we'll scrimmage live special teams as well.
Yeah, Butch Jones continuing to lose his voice. The Vols will get a real taste of game action on Saturday when they will play a simulated scrimmage. Well, training camp keeps rolling along, and game number 1 is creeping up on us. Get ready for the season by joining us Friday night right here on WVLT for our Vol football preview special. It features an exclusive interview with Butch Jones, analysis from the guys of VolQuest, and so much more. That airs tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. We continue on with our legendary countdown to kickoff series with a stop in Kingston to check on a maturing Yellow Jacket squad. 2013 was not kind to an exceptionally young Kingston squad. The Yellow Jackets went winless, but those hard knock lessons learned last season should come in handy this season. A predominantly freshman and sophomore roster in 2013 has grown a year older, a year wiser, and a year bigger. Look for them to develop the right habits and have the proper aggression necessary to snag some wins in 2014.
We got a lot of growth. I mean, our backs, we've had some young backs, and I've seen them grow, and
not afraid to run it as much anymore. Oh, it's so much easier after having a year in our belt and just being able to go over what we did last year.
Everybody's been learning a lot. Everybody's been getting a lot stronger in the weight room, and I just feel like we're going to be a lot better than last year.
The Yellow Jackets have a tough season opener facing Grace Christian on the road in Week 1 before hosting Scott in Week 2. And finally tonight, former Smoky Javier Baez is off to a nice start in the big leagues for the Cubs. The second baseman blasted 2 home runs this afternoon on his way to a 4 RBI game in the Cubs' 6-2 win. Baez now has 3 home runs, only 14 career at-bats. At that rate, if he had the same number of career at-bats as Babe Ruth, he would finish with 2,276 career home runs. Ted, he's going to do that.
It's
Why
math.
do you slow down?
It's math.
You can't argue with it.
You can't.
That's
it's a fact.
That's right.
You certainly can't argue with it when you can't do it, I'll tell you that much.
That is true.
We'll be right back. I have some calculations to do.
Some ciphering.
It's Shoe Week at Ross. See the top brands for men, women, and kids at unbeatable savings. These girls' flats are $25 elsewhere, but if you want them for less than $15, you gotta go to Shoe Week at Ross.
Double down with Secret City. That's right, folks. Come on down to Secret City for double rebates on every new Chrysler brand vehicle during the summer clearance event. Rams, Wranglers, Chargers, Cherokees, 300s, 200s, even heavy-duty trucks. If the rebate is $2,000, you get $4,000. If the rebate is $4,000, you get $8,000. If the rebate is $6,000, then you get $12,000 off the purchase of a new Chrysler brand vehicle, or take advantage and pay 0 interest for 72 months on select new Chrysler brand vehicles on the lot. It's time to double down at Secret City CDJ in Oak Ridge. Remember, if you don't come see us today, we can't save you any money.
Welcome to TRH Health Plans. I'm Tracy. Can I help you?
We're looking for Medicare supplements.
Well, we have great rates on...
Have you tried your hair back? That's darling Martha.
Marcy, wouldn't some plants just brighten this place up?
And some curtains, too.
So, do you have Medicare supplements or not?
Focus, dear.
We've got you covered.
From Medicare supplements to individual or family coverage, we've got you covered. So come by a Farm Bureau office today.
This summer,
He's getting away.
Let's show him what it means to be built Ford tough. It's just the kind of heart and muscle we need. Never underestimate a man in a Ford truck.
During the Ford Summer Spectacular, drive home a nicely equipped F-150 with 0 for 60, plus $750 trade assist cash. Only at your local Ford dealer.
Join Furrow Auction Company August 23rd for the auction of this luxurious Lions Bend estate. Situated on 17 private acres with incredible views, this multi-level custom-built home features 5 bedrooms, 5 full and 3 half baths, gourmet kitchen and parking for up to 10 vehicles. Outdoors is a beautiful pool, inviting terraces and sports court. Join Furrow Auction Company and our partner Sharon Bailey of Realty Executives Associates Saturday, August 23rd at 10:30 a.m. at 2130 Duncan Road, Knoxville. Visit furrow.com for complete details.
better hurry to Shoe Week at Ross. See the latest styles, the hottest brands, all at unbeatable savings. Like these studded flats, $40 at department stores. But if you want them for less than $16, you gotta go to Shoe Week at Ross.
Welcome back. It was Election Day here in Tennessee and in East Tennessee. For the most part, the races went the way we expected them to.
Yeah, they did. Lamar Alexander wins the Senate Republican primary. The Democratic side still a little too close for us to call.
Yeah, so we don't know yet who he's going to be facing in November. U.S. House District 3. This is another one that went the longest tonight. Chuck Fleischman, the incumbent, with a win over the young guy, Weston Womp.
Yeah, and in the biggest upset of the night, Dr. Richard Briggs beat Stacey Campfield and also helped a man who collapsed at the Republican headquarters.
At the Republican headquarters. Either he found out he won and then helped, or he helped and then found out he won, back to back. What an amazing night it was for him.
Yeah, we'll see how he translates that caring for his patients to caring for his constituents.
Oh, that was poetry.
Wasn't it? Just write that down.
That's it.
Okay, so get the weather gear out.
Yeah, get the rain gear. Yep, you were saying the galoshes, and there's going to be plenty of opportunity for that. We're going to see the rain starting probably in about a couple of hours overnight tonight, and then just lingering off and on throughout a good portion of this forecast period.
Boy, it looks like a whole bunch of rain coming. So thanks for staying up with us. We appreciate it. Stay up to date anytime. Local8now.com.
And remember, Local 8 News this morning starts at 4:30. Have a great night. We'll see you back here tomorrow.